Coming up next, Weeknight with Ellie Muller. That's right, it's coming up next on the one and only Nick at Night. When late night TV breaks, we fix it. From the gorgeous YouTube Dog Show, and remember, trust is very important. It's Weeknight with Ellie Muller. Tonight, conversation about trust with Tori's Giving Spot, MP, and the Pink Cat. Now, ladies and gentlemen, a man who's going to talk about trust tonight. Oh boy, let's just get this thing over with. He is the one and really the only Mr. Ellie Muller. Ha! Welcome to Weeknight Update. My name is Ellie Muller. What's up? Alright, the theme was composed by Dr. Metal's Piano, and Tori's Gaming Spot is Weeknight Update Storyteller. And they are two about Shoutout Spotlight one spot. Along with Eva Amity, Dragon Ball, and Hasbell up in 2004. Hopefully she will return to this program very, very soon. Pierre Kelly, GD Cube, the YouTuber, aka GD Cube, Alex K's Toon Zone, Candy Bar Tunes, Bob Corley, Visionet Media, Lola Core, Wireless Chris Bar 2, Todd Dreamy Do Not Attack, Todd Dreamy Upset, and Small Dreamy Active, and Anchor Train Rail Fan. Please check all those people out. Now, since you have decided to trust me and the Not Right for Late Night Players, by the way, thanks. Let's find out what's up. What's up with trust? Something that people don't have anymore. I can't say that I'm surprised because the last time that people trusted one another was in 1897. An expert says that AI has made it harder for anyone to trust anyone. Wow, that is so true. Now, drop the acne cream. Alex Earl thought that she was being trusted and trustworthy when she unveiled her new skincare line. But when people found out that she stole ingredients for it, the trust went away. Wow. Alex Earl is an actual liar. Alright, it's time for another top 8 list. MP, Pink Cat. Let's go! You got boss, kinds category, top 8 animals who will never be trusted. Number 8, an owl. Number 7, a shark. Number 6, a bear. Number 5, a mouse. Number 4, a donkey. Number 3, an emu. Number 2, a flamingo. And number 1, a snake. Well, that was interesting. You can say that again. Actually, I'd rather move on with the rest of the show. Yeah, that's an even better idea. Thank you, boys. Thanks a lot. You know what? Do a hashtag Weeknight Update, hashtag Elroll for Late Night, hashtag Elroll for those who hashtag spread around, the hashtag autism is awesome. Get those hashtags on social media, please. And while I like this thing, subscribe to the bell, check, and shout the comment section down below. But whatever we do, please do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with the in-between monologue, Toy Story, Moment for Everyone, Target 5, Matter Advice, and this week's Count of the Week question. Remember, this is still Weeknight Update, and now here it is, your Bound Tonight.
Pickup line. Hey boy, do you like girls with long legs and tan skin? 'Cause I've got neither.
Oh, what a desert the TV dial places. Nick at Night is a tropical oasis. Good TV refreshes you and me.
Nick at Night!
If you have a house on Park Place, you don't need to worry about what it'll cost to carpet it. But most of us live over here in Baltic or Vermont, and we don't always have the ready cash. That's why Empire has such a super credit plan. Anyone who needs new carpeting shouldn't have to wait just because money is short. So our plan gives you 60 days to make an installment payment. 60 days. So go to your phone, go directly to your phone, do not pass go, and call Empire.
588-2300 Empire.
I gotta have pops! Corn pops popping in my head like popcorn popping in my head. Corn pops popping's all I think about. Popping, they keep popping in my head. Corn pops popping, gotta get a taste. I can't stop popping. Corn pops popping in my head.
Kellogg's Corn Pops. You can't stop thinking about that sweet popcorn taste. Part of this complete breakfast.
Corn pops popping in my head. Pops!
Welcome back to Weeknight Update. Toys Gaming Spot will have another story for everyone in a few moments. But first, it's time for the in-between monologue. Trust is the confident belief in someone's reliability, ability, and integrity. That's something that you won't get from an enemy. Remember the 3 C's of trust: competence, character, and caring. Your enemies won't give you either of those things. You can't have trust without honesty. That's another reason why you can't trust your enemies. They're liars. The truth always comes before trust. Remember, the truth is the egg and trust is the baby chicken that comes out of the egg. Your enemies will never understand that. And finally, past betrayals and manipulation will break the trust that people have with one another. By the way, that's the biggest reason why you should never trust your enemies. Oh boy. Well, it's time for Tori's story. Take it away, Tori.
Hey guys, Tori Mullins here, and welcome back to Tori's story. So the next story I'm going to be telling you is about trust. And here's the story. I was a tool in high school. Save the you still are jokes for later. I severely suppressed my abilities. I just couldn't find the will to actually apply myself. One day, my sophomore year, I took it a step too far. My professor, let's call him John, was a very respectable teacher. He was kind, soft-spoken, but tough as nails. He just so happened to also be a good family friend of mine. John had printed out our exams a day early and stacked them neatly on his desk. During class that day, the cognitively underdeveloped adolescent known as myself decided decided it would be a grand idea to borrow a test. Just to make sure he didn't make any mistakes. Sort of like Nicolas Cage borrows the Declaration of Independence in National Treasure. Hours later, because my loud mouth couldn't keep a secret, after the school was aware I was in possession of John's History 237 exam, but no one would tell John that, would they? Ha! I couldn't have been more wrong. Before class the next day, students approached me to warn of the storm headed my way. Dude, John totally knows you stole the exam, bro. You are so screwed, Derek. Have fun in suspicion, idiot. Never has my anxiety been so high. I show up to class and take my regular assigned seat. After the bell rings, John stands up from his chair. Derek, why don't we step out in the hall for a second? My heart dropped to my toes. I did my best to act as if I had no idea what was going on. I knew exactly what was going on. John proceeded to calmly rip my dignity to shreds. He ended up catching wind earlier that morning and had to redo the entire test before first period because he had no clue who had laid eyes on the stolen exam. I had successfully tarnished any and all trust that was between us. It was definitely the worst feeling in the world. Trust takes years to build, but just seconds to destroy. It is the single most important dynamic in dynamic in any relationship. I'll never forget what he said to me just before I reluctantly crawled back into class. Derek, one day we'll be at a summer barbecue, drinking a beer, looking back on this day and laughing about it. But today I'm not laughing. Well, John, I think I owe ya a beer. Maybe a burger too. The end. That's the story about trust. So stay tuned where I tell the next story. Bye, guys.
Thank you very much, Tori. That was incredible. Well, let's take a moment for everyone, huh? lightly. In other words, don't trust people who shouldn't be trusted. If you meet someone who wants to make a tabloid post about you on social media, then you shouldn't trust that person at all. That's something for you to remember. Now, some people will tell you to trust your enemies because they think that your enemies won't talk about you. Here's the thing though, your enemies will talk about you when you're not around. Your enemies are evil. Your enemies will do anything and everything to destroy you and make you feel like dirt. So what should you remember from this speech? Never trust people who shouldn't be trusted, and keep your enemies away from you. There you go. Now, I believe that it is talking time. Here we go. All right, now, I have 2 articles to share with you. 2. However, the first article cannot be found because apparently someone must have removed that article from that website. Yeah, it was talking about how AI was going to be this thing that couldn't be trusted and everything else and this and that and the third and the fourth. But that article isn't popping up because somebody from MediaMarketing.com has removed that particular article. So let's move on to the next article. All right. Alex Earl has been, honest about her acne. That's right. She said that she has this new skincare line that's supposed to help people get rid of their acne. And for the most part, people have been applauding her for making skincare line for everybody. However, she has faced a lot of backlash lately. Why? Apparently, the same ingredients that she has used for her skincare line are the ingredients that can be used in other skincare lines made by other people. What does that mean? Well, that means that Alex Earl should not be trusted. That's right. So, shame on you, Alex Earl. Hey, how about some advice for the world, huh? Trusting your family is awesome. Trusting a stranger is like trusting Frankenstein. It won't work. If your friends are talking about you when you're not with them, then it may be time for you to find some new friends. Never trust someone who you can't depend on. Does that mean that you should run away from the bullies? Yes! And finally, if you trust a mean person, then you will regret it for the rest of your life. If you trust a nice person, then you will be happy forever. If you trust a skunk, then you are disgusting. All right, let's go over this week's Comment of the Week question, which is, if you had a store, but you could only sell glasses, windows, and carpets, then what would you call your store and how much money would everything cost? Go over to the post section of my YouTube channel page and answer that question as honestly and as thoughtfully as you can. Well, folks, that is it for tonight. But I will see you tomorrow. That's the news. And I'm out, East 4x4.
Oh, what a desert the TV dial places. Nick at Night is a tropical oasis. Good TV refreshes you and me.
Nick at Night.